reading. 24 games played for Liverpool, 23 victories, just that one draw at Old Trafford, 70 points, and they are now 19 clear of Manchester City as they head towards a 19th title in their history. West Ham's fight is there for all to see. Their game in hand was always going to be the biggest challenge. 23 points, the same as Bournemouth, the same as Watford, out of the relegation zone only on goal difference, and still too shy of both Villa and Brighton ahead of them. Now, talking of the champions, Manchester City, they are trying to reach the League Cup final, which they have just done. They've lost on the night against United by a goal to nil, but they have won that tie 3-2 on aggregate at the Etihad. They will be able to defend their League Cup triumph at Wembley next month against Aston Villa.
We were disappointed with ourselves in the first half. We came in at half-time and we weren't satisfied at all. So we knew second half we needed to step it up a bit. And we had, again, a few moments where we were a bit sloppy and we maybe gave the ball away too easy and put ourselves under a lot of pressure. But thankfully for us, we've got boys at the back that can get us out of some of those problems, and they helped us. And Alisson, the keeper, made some really big saves tonight, so that helped. And then I think in the end, ultimately, once we got the second goal, we controlled the game well, and you can say it's a professional performance.
Were you perhaps not at your best then?
Who, me?
No, as a team.
Both. I think both in patches, especially first half. We knew we had a lot of potential in this game, and we needed to do more. And I think that's credit to West Ham. They made it difficult for us. I think at times we had a lot of possession, but weren't doing an awful lot with it. And we were maybe struggling at times to find patterns of play and trying to break through the lines. And also then at times we sort of forgot the fundamentals in key moments. Second balls and really counter pressing and pressing them like our lives depend on it. And we reminded ourselves of that at half time. And I think that set us up a bit better in the second half, but overall it's a professional performance, a good win away from home, but yeah, we can still improve on that.
It's 23 wins from 24 matches. Is there a real belief that you go into every match thinking you are going to win?
Yeah, definitely. I think at this point that's what's got us where we are. We sort of have that belief in ourselves, in the person next to us, in the whole squad, that we're going to go into the games and win. Realistically, we know a possibility that might not happen. The oppositions that we play against are very good, but at least we go into the games with that belief. We give ourselves a good opportunity, and we set high standards, and we also know if we don't meet those standards, we won't be winning games. So we like to be confident going into games, but also we have to respect everyone we go into, and we have to respect what's got us to where we are, and keep making sure that we do that.
Liverpool are 19 points clear at the top of the table. The Liverpool fans at the end there singing about believing in winning the league. Do you believe it? Are you beginning to believe it?
Yeah, when you come to a big club like this, you've got to believe that this is the team that can go and win the league, go and win trophies. We've had a little bit of experience with that last season with the Champions League, and then last season we went close in the league. So we started off this year with that belief, but you can't at this point get carried away. There's games to go. There's tough opposition, and we haven't got this far by being complacent or starting to think too far ahead. So, like I said, we got to just keep focusing on the things that have got us here. Respect everyone that we go up against, and just keep trying to get the wins, and we'll see at the end of the season what happens.
Well, there we go. Those ribbons will be turning from blue to red, and they need just a maximum of 24 points now to be absolutely sure of taking the title. And if all went according to plan, it could be at the Etihad Stadium, the home of the current champions, where Liverpool clinch it. But they won't be looking that far ahead at the moment. Did we just get an insight to the level expected of Liverpool players?
I think so. I mean, they're talking about being disappointed at half-time when you're one up, when you've got 78% of possession or something like that. I mean, we've never seen anything like this before. I know we've seen great teams in recent years. In particular, Manchester City have been brilliant, but this team are they're relentless. They're breaking records every 2 minutes. They've got different ways of playing. Even though the system doesn't change too much. They can play counter-attacking football. They can play possession football. They can open you up if you give them, all the ball during the game. They've got so many different ways of playing. It's phenomenal to watch. I think we'll look back on it in 20, 30, 40 years and just say, wow, we were alive. We witnessed probably one of the best teams that have ever played football, certainly in England.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain there, you can see and hear what's expected of them in every minute of every match, Ian.
Yeah, and what it said to me is that if West Ham started with a little bit more ambition, they might have been able to catch a Liverpool side that we couldn't really detect, weren't quite at it, simply because they weren't put under pressure. So they were rolling it around. They just done their stuff, and like he said, it was very difficult to break West Ham down. But it is difficult to break down like two massive banks of players in front of you, and you're not being ambitious enough to pass it through the lines, like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain said. And what I've got from that, once he did say that, was they might as well have tried and pass it into areas where it might have got cut out, because it's not as if West Ham would have been able to get it and build an attack, because they weren't doing that all game. So yeah, you get an insight into the kind of pressure they put in each other under, and they're making sure that they do not get complacent. So they've got to finish these teams off and get the job done.
And it was his goal that finished them off, even though it was not really in doubt tonight with the second, and finished off some move.
Yeah, I mean, they're defending a corner kick 1 minute, and then the blink of an eye, you think, wow, here's a chance. I mean, the pace of the attack is phenomenal. The way they flood forward, their vision, their quality, and then the finish. I mean, everything about it was just brilliant. And finished off in great style. But we see here, this has got to be won. That has got to. You can't let Mo Salah just jump and the ball trickle past. And then it's all about hitting the space. Either of those, Firmino or Mo Salah, could have played the ball. Now he's got options. He either takes it down on his left foot, he's then in a running race with his man, but he's on his harder left foot, or he goes the brave man's route and he cuts across his defender, says, go on, I dare you to bring me down. You'll be sent off, and you'll have a free kick in a dangerous position. So he goes for the risky option, which is exactly what he should have done, and a brilliant finish to finish it off.
Yeah, it was, when you see the challenge that Lanzini put in, probably Oxlade-Chamberlain seeing it was Lanzini, there's no way he's going to stop him, but it was really good touches of the football in that moment, because the ball came through, he took it with the outside of the right foot, and again with the outside of the right foot. That could easily have gone wrong, but it's the way he controlled that to then finish it so acutely. It was beautiful goal.
And we have seen that from a Jurgen Klopp team at that stadium before, if we rewound 2 seasons ago.
Well, that's right. Liverpool are slipping, aren't they? They're doing it a lot slower than they did do 2 seasons ago. You watch this. It's a Sadio Mane break. It's a ball across to Mo Salah, and I think it's about 13 seconds, is it? Yeah, 13 seconds a couple of seasons ago. So, as I say, Liverpool are obviously getting a little bit slower, because today it was 2 or 3 seconds more. Obviously Sadio Mane's not playing today, so they haven't got that super quick player, but very similar. You would have thought West Ham would have learnt the lesson from 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with Liverpool, what they are capable of, and when they do get it going, how incisive and clinical they are. That was it there. And like I said, didn't have to do much today. And like I said, it's a procession, man. They're on the way, man. They're going to do it. Oxlade-Chamberlain's obviously not going to say that, but they know they can't get complacent. But we know, sitting here, we can say Liverpool are going to win the league.
But listening to them, they're not allowed to get in any way complacent, are they, those players?
No, certainly not. And I genuinely believe, as much as they all know themselves that they're going to win it, I don't think that they're all talking about, hey, when we win it, what type of part are we going to have? How are you going to feel about winning it? I just don't think that type of conversation. Everyone knows what's happening. Everyone knows they're on the verge of greatness. It's focus. Next game, wow, we got a big one on Saturday. These are a tough team. And that type of attitude, I don't think even though they're rolling out the same lines, it sounds like they're all well versed and Jurgen Klopp's told them what to say, but I genuinely think that they're not even talking about it. I certainly, when we were going for big trophies in my career, we'd talk about what could have been, really. You talk about other things, you talk about cars and your wife and your kids or whatever else you talk about. You don't think, right, well, what's going to happen in 3 or 4 months? It's going to happen. They know it's going to happen, but they've got to remain focused.
It's a curious situation, though, so early into the season to be talking like this, with the Premier League battles we've seen in recent years.
Yeah, because when they, like Oxlade-Chamberlain said there, they started the season expecting, coming off of winning the Champions League, missing out on the Premier League, so it was so close. And so they started the league in real determined fashion, and they've not let up. What has happened is that City, unfortunately, with injuries and form, they have dropped points, whereas Liverpool have kept the pressure on and kept going. Was what we saw last season was a City side that, yes, when City lost to Newcastle, Liverpool didn't take advantage. I think Pep thought that, this is it, but they didn't take advantage of it, Liverpool. And I think what they learned from last season is that in certain instances, draws won't be good enough. So they've got to win as many games as they can, because they believe that City is going to be right up against them. Like I thought, like everybody thought, but they've literally blasted them away. So now the concentration is to continue doing what you're doing, not let complacency slip in, which can easily happen. And, if you're fortunate enough, you get teams like West Ham who play as poorly as that, and that makes it a little bit easier for you.
And I think there's no question about it. Last season's experience has helped them this season. I mean, as Wrighty's alluded to there, when you have gone on such a chase and you've failed by a point at the end of the season, then you just know that, right, it's almost like Ronaldo, Messi, how they sort of keep each other really honest, and they almost make each other better. And I think that Manchester City have almost paid the price of making Liverpool better last season, and now they're just a relentless team. And I'd also go as far as to say, in certain games we think that they only win by 1 here or a couple there, but if you'd said to them today, you need to win by 4, I think they're that good that they've got gears. They could have gone and won by 4 today. Okay, we watched them play against Wolves the other day, real tough game, and they can grind it out, don't get me wrong. But I think that they're that good, and they proved it last season. Look at the Champions League, 3-0 behind against Barcelona. When they need something, if they put their mind to it, they are that far ahead of everyone else at the moment. They're unstoppable, and I think they will be for seasons to come.
I think the test is going to be, now you have to start thinking of Liverpool next season, like the great United sides, and City, being able to retain it, is that once they do win it, to have the hunger to continue doing it, like we've seen City after a few years. This season in particular, they seem to have eased off, whether it's because they've been pushed so hard, the pressure, not only in the games, but in training as well, the everyday intensity of their manager. Something that Klopp, I'm sure, will want to do. He won't want to win it once, he'll want to go again. And I think the pressure's going to come on this Liverpool squad next season to retain and continue to do what they've done, not only last season and came so close, they're doing it this season. And can they keep going? Because that's what the great teams do. They keep going because they're not settling for one. They want another one and another one. That's where you want to see the greatness of this team. I think they've got that in them.
Let's hear from the man who continues to push them to these remarkable levels. Here are the post-match thoughts of Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen, how pleased were you with your team's performance?
First and foremost, I'm overly happy about the 3 points, and there was only one team, I think, who deserved the 3 points. It was us tonight, it's clear. But of course, we could have done a lot of things better. I told the boys already in dressing room, if I come now in and speak about the things they should have done better, immediately after the game I would be a really bad person. So it's not about that. If what the boys did so far would be so easy, a lot of other teams would have done it. So you have these moments, we could have done better in a lot of moments, passed better, defended better, first and foremost, because we gave situations away, 1 or 2, and Ali had to make too much saves anyway, but because there was only one team was really playing. But in the moment when we opened up spaces, when we lost the ball in the wrong moment, and they had their moments, and that was unnecessary, of course, but honestly, who cares now after the game, because these boys played outstanding football so often in this season. Tonight it was a normal performance, and we won the game. That's all it was about.
Do you sometimes, though, have to find a way to win, even perhaps when you're not playing at your best?
Yeah, very often you have to find a way on different ways. That's how it is. And I really think, how I said, we had these two balls on the touchline when Robbo crossed from left, where 2-3 players are like an inch away or whatever, and we did, I think, similar from the other side. These are the situations that we need to have much more often, and we didn't have it often enough because we just didn't. Maybe we never had the 100% rhythm in the game. So for us, our rhythm, and that was then because it's tough to play against such a defensive-orientated team. They in the first, 20-30 minutes, had not even had a counter-attack. So that means you're constantly in mood, but then I wonder from them that if we lose the ball, we need counter-press-wise on highest level, but that's this kind of difficult thing to do. And when you don't win these balls back, then you're a bit too wide and stuff like that, and there they think that the first set piece, and the set pieces, they had too many, of course, and that's another thing, and it's always 50-50 set piece. We defended, but I think one Ogbonna from 3-4 yards. The biggest chances I had, we had an assist. Yeah, with Robbo once, I think, Ginny once, or whatever. So these are the things where they, of course, use and there's no protection in the world. Trent
hit the post.
But Trent, yes, nearly, yeah, of course. So, yeah, absolutely right. So strange, but at the end, the 3 points are all what counts, and I'm fine with that.
It means you are now 19 points clear at the top of the table. How significant do you feel that is?
Oh yeah, first and foremost, we're happy that finally we leveled the number of games, because it's like always having one in hand and everybody expects you win it anyway. It's like you count the 3 points, but you don't have them. Now we have them, and now we can make the next steps. 3 days, in 3 days, Southampton in outstanding shape after near a week to prepare the game. Really, we saw them already, Ingsy and all of them there. Ralph is doing an exceptional job there, so we have to be ready for that, and hopefully we are.
Liverpool fans, though, are now singing about winning the league. What do you say to them?
What I said last week, they can sing whatever they want. I said it, and if they would not be in a good mood now, something would be really wrong. Of course they're in a good mood, and so from that point of view I have no problem, but singing it doesn't mean you are it, so that's all what I can say.
I think he's quite clear on that.
Yes.
Permission to sing whatever you want, when you want, from Jurgen Klopp.
Absolutely. I mean, he's bob on, isn't he? As you say, you can sing what you want, but until you, it doesn't mean you're lifting the trophy. So, I mean, he is brilliant, isn't he? He's great in every way. Look at him. He's so popular. He's lifted that club untold amounts. I mean, there will be a statue of him one day. He is that popular, and it goes right the way through the club, through the academy. They're having their new training ground built now, which is almost an extension of their academy. So, you know, the whole club is feeling the effects of this manager. It's you know, seeping right the way through to the under sixes and all the rest of it. It's just a very, very positive place. The crowd are buzzing. They love him. And it's just one of those clubs that you just don't know where this momentum's gonna stop now.